And we are live with the primary elections in Tennessee. Starting off, we got the U.S. Senate primary. Republicans, the incumbent is running unopposed for renomination. As you can see, is just 100, and then 99.6. And then the Democrats, it's still too early to call. There is House primaries that I'd like to keep an eye on. House primaries. Apologies for that. Basically anything that hasn't been called yet. So you got District 5. For the Republicans, you got District 4. Some of these are going to be called fairly early on. District 6. And District 9, which is actually a district that leans towards the Democrats. Still getting everything set up. We got a bunch of these primaries we're also going to be keeping our eye on. Less as much there as we are the Republicans, because most of these are seats that the Republicans will win in November. This, the big one, being for Senate. This is not a seat for the Senate that the Democrats are likely to win. However, I will say incumbent Bill Hagerty is relatively unpopular for a senator, a Republican senator in a state that Trump won. We will see how this amounts to anything. As you can see, the estimated remaining, there's 385,000 with plus 4.5% registered Democrats versus 740,000 plus 7.6% registered Republicans. So Tennessee is a very red state. Hagerty is expected to not face any major write-in challenge, and is expected to win easily with well over 99%, if not even like 99.9. Over here in House District 5, Andy Ogles is not expected to face off a major challenge from Charlie Hatcher, but it is one that we are going to be keeping our eye on. In House District 4, Scott DeLajaris, there was some talk of him facing a somewhat of a challenge from either Davis or James, but it seems very, as the early vote shows, very unlikely at this point that it turns anything. District 6. This is an open seat because John Rose is running for governor of Tennessee, which we actually really want to focus on tonight. And this is a district that the Republican is going to be favored to win by quite a bit. District 9, this is one where the Democrat will be favored. So, Pearson was the main, seen as like the front runner in this race. This is the big one. For the Republican nomination for governor of Tennessee, and wow, this was expected to be a lot closer than 43-33. It's still too early to call, but if you're Blackburn, you're loving the numbers you're getting right now. And Jerry Green is expected to do real well. Where is you have 4, right? Yes, we do. District 8's Democratic primary. The polls have been tight all along. So we'll see what happens here. I find it very unlikely that the Democrats actually could pull off this specific seat. Incumbent Kustoff is popular, so I think it's quite likely that he's running uncontested. Even find it quite likely that he wins by a wide margin in November. But this is one to keep your eye on if you are a Democrat. This is the one that I really am going to be going back to all night just to see where things are for this Republican primary. I'm actually going to do this view all candidates. That way, the write-ins. No one. I don't know if you can do a write-in, or yes, you can. Yeah, nothing major I am expecting there. But now Blackburn entered this heavy favorite. Whatever happens after, or not heavy favorite, a favorite, but not a heavy favorite, maybe by 7 or 8. So there was some talk, though, that Monty Fritz and Marsha Blackburn could split the vote. However, it's looking more like Fritz is taking evenly from both candidates. So we'll see what goes on with that. The Fritz factor is going to be really what decides it, because if he took more from Blackburn than he did from John Rose, then you got yourself a ball game. But it's looking as of right now that will not be the case. I'm looking through, the city, but Davidson County on their social media, and they are expecting some more the first votes from their end, which is when we'll start getting actual official projections. Nashville is by far the largest city in Tennessee. So that's where The most votes for both parties is coming from is Davidson County, where Nashville is. I'm going to just switch away over to this to see Bradshaw was leading in the polls, so I'm not so nothing crazy here. I would have thought Miller Watkins was doing better than would have been doing better, maybe closer to the 15-16 mark, but she's not hitting that number. Oops, forgot. And then in District 5, Ogles, his challenge is getting. It looked like it could get tighter around as it did, but the question is, he still remains fairly popular in the district. But the question is he popular enough? At this point, we're getting stuff. Oh, that's a tie. I didn't know if that was something weird. Okay. Well, you learned something new about this. This Williamson County, you're going to want to keep your eye on. Lauderdale County, it's small, but it's going to be a good indicator of how things will go. This is where Hatcher pulled his highest at about 74%. He's not hitting that number right now. And then Shelby County is going to be one to keep your eye on. But if Hatcher wants to win, he needs to be pulling that 75. Or he could be doing something like that. Where did those votes come in from? Is it Dyer? Those from Dyer? Yep, that's where that last batch of vote came from. So this is where Hatcher needs to perform. He was polling at about 55 in Dyer, the last poll from there that I had seen. And he was polling. But over here you see Williamson. Ogles was polling there at about 58. Will he be able to hold on to that 58 is the question. Because if Ogles is overperforming here, but Dyer or Hatcher is overperforming in Dyer, it's still way too early to be able to make a judgment of how things are going to go. And for the Democrats, this is a three-way race. The polls have shown that this is a three-way race. Mulder, popular more throughout the district. Cooper Sutton, more towards Memphis. And Hurley, more towards Franklin. And anyone can pull out ahead in this. If you're Ogles, you're not quite comfortable with how this is going right now. I'm going to switch over to the other house things because we still have stuff to go on. As expected, Scott DeGilaris is winning handily. Early on in the campaign, there was some talk that he could be in some sort of danger. I didn't see it. Neither did the people of Tennessee's 4th. You got some stuff going on here with Broderick and Cortese. I'm not expecting anything crazy from this yet. Cortese is gonna. This Rutherford County is her base. Broderick has just about everything else outside of it, like mainly the suburbs, going to be hers. That's going to be interesting to see. In District 6, Garrett and Crowley are, as expected, leading. in this district is the one that Nashville is actually in, or most of the city, because I believe the city is split between 2 or 3 districts. Garrett, widely expected to be doing well. And then Crowley, again, another widely expected to be doing well. I'm not sure that anyone's going to finish off with 50% in these, but they're going to probably win. District 9, Steve Cohen's seat. Justin Pearson basically favored. Who will challenge him? It's still way too early to tell. With only 20% of the vote in for the Republicans. 60 two no that's 6693. 2000 about 2,000 votes, a little under, separate Brent Taylor from Todd Warner at the moment. Do we have any idea? Okay, yeah, Jerry Green wins. That basically a gimme. Any sort of indication from what Blackburn and Rose and how the Fritz is and who Fritz is taking from more. I'm gonna about 18,000 votes separating Blackburn and Rose. If you're Blackburn, you're happy, but you're not fully comfortable yet. I mean, they're still saying that we're going to get some Davidson soon, which I would like to think is true. District 8, it's still 3-way. I'll pull up District 3 and District 7, but there's really not going to be a lot to talk about here in these two. But I'm only pulling them up because they have not officially been called yet. So, but things are. All right. Nothing crazy going on in here yet. Anything? Yeah. Darden Copeland, it's basically his. It's his race to lose. Apologize for that. I forgot that hitting tab would put me on over there, but ooh. This is another one of the ones that I knew I may need to spend some time on. I didn't realize it was going to be this much time on it. Ogles was seen as very likely to win. I'm stuck in my tooth. I'll take care of that later. This, again, I'd like to see how Hatcher does here in Shelby County. I don't know if that will be going on or how long they'll take. I haven't even checked their social media, but depending on how much Shelby there is to earn, how many people actually get out and vote, that could be the make or break, and that is going to be for Hatcher. I can almost guarantee that. Okay. We need to get more. Tennessee, the way they do it is they just report votes very gradually. So I don't know how long this live stream is going to go for. I don't know if I'll be able to cover something until they're all called. It's basically up in the air at this point. I think we're coming close to our first calls. Garrett, well, it was plus 15. Now it's plus 14. Well, plus 13.9. Here, I think we're going to get a call very, very soon. The one that we've basically been expecting all evening. We just need to wait for it to become official. This, they're going to probably have to wait for a while because I think that this is going to be. Excuse me. This is the big one of the night. I am curious to see what the write-in is right now, or if it's it's a non sequitur at this point, 0.2%. Remind me, how many candidates are running in this one? Yeah, 4, but it's a 3-way race. This is, if you are just joining us because I see the numbers going up, for one, welcome to our stream. We're analyzing the Tennessee primary tonight, and two, this number's been going. I think all 3 have been on the top at one point. This is one we're gonna probably be a while before we have any idea of what's going on. This one, I'm expecting to be called relatively shortly. Galladay favored in this primary. We're just going tab by tab. And then as they get called, we do a brief summary and then we close it out. Just going out, but I'm expecting this to be called fairly soon. Excuse me. I'm not gonna make any idea on a guaranteed set time. It's 8:11, or 8:41, Eastern right now. So it should be getting. Polls have been closed for 40 minutes. Okay, I kind of want to go county by county right here, so again, you got nothing from Tipton, nothing from Shelby, nothing from Henry, nothing from Maury, nothing from Williamson, and then we got 20 votes in Montgomery, and it's 10 votes apiece. Men's moving. Here in Lewis County, Ogles is at 64, the incumbent. This, how much is it? Oh, if Hatcher doesn't get that number, and I said before, he in his own area, Lauderdale mainly, where he was polling in the 70s on a Lauderdale County poll. If he doesn't get that, this is where he can make up ground. This is a surprise that he's leading in Hickman. Again, I'm going county by county over here. He's doing better than expected in Humphreys. The difference is 1 vote in Benton. Over half of the precincts reporting. This is not good if you're Ogles. You do not want to be running close in your area and then losing, even if you're doing better than you should be, still losing in where your opponent is expected to do well. Houston, he's getting the number he needs there. He's getting the number he needs in Stewart, although I think he'd like it to be up a bit. Here in Weekly, 63-36. That's not going to be enough if you're Hatcher or if you're Ogles. You're going to need to be doing that maybe 30 or 40, 45. Ogles is overperforming here in the northeastern part of the district, so I think he's glad to see that, but he is not overperforming by enough. He's overperforming pretty much all over in this area, but it's really not enough at this point. Take a peek at the Democrats, and that's all over the place at this point. Mulder, Hill, Hurley, and Cooper Sutton all currently leading. I'm gonna do a tie here again. Yeah, tie 10 apiece. Wow. All right. Interesting little thing there. District 4. Is there another candidate in this? Yes, and it's not going to be as much of a non sequitur as I think. See these two candidates amount for the 4th and 5th amount for more than the 3rd, so we'll see what goes on there. As you can see, though, Cortez is leading in every county except Cannon. Or no, Broderick is, except in Cannon, where she's down by 1 vote. 38% of Cannon is in. Rutherford, Rutherford and Davidson are the big population of the district. Excuse me. And if somebody is able to win those two, they're basically going to win the primary. I think they're going to get smacked in the general, just because it's Tennessee's 4th. Here in Tennessee 6, Okay. They're reporting votes right now in Tennessee 6. So we will see if there's anything. Actually, I should probably check and see if there's anything in the chat, any questions. Sorry, I'm tired. It's late. Not going to be as late as Hawaii's, though, Saturday. So, anything District 9 yet? Excuse me. District 9, I'd like to get some more vote in. Where is it? Shelby. Because there's Memphis suburbs. This is Memphis suburbs. A decent population, I'd say. Not giant, but not teeny for this district. This is where I'm really want to know. Again, the answer to almost everything lies in Memphis and Nashville, which have not reported votes yet. Anything here? No. I think it's going to be a whole lot of no for are we getting answers. I'm expecting this to take some time. At this point, this one I would say should be called very, very shortly, if not right about now. Come on. Again, I don't think Haggerty's in any real risk of losing in November, but I think that there is that outside possibility. Today we're gonna get excuse me again, I'm sorry, I'm tired. We're gonna get some sort of idea tonight, and I believe that the idea is gonna be Bradshaw Haggerty. I really don't see anyone except for Bradshaw winning this nomination. They're in District 7. There's pretty much nothing. Okay, we just got another vote in. As I say, nothing. Where is this from? Any counties? Okay, I think that last batch was Montgomery. I'm not for sure. Now I know we were waiting on Montgomery for something. Again, Darden Copeland is favored to be the Democratic nominee, with maybe an outside chance at a general election victory, or at least keeping it close. anything here in District 5. I think I can give an idea on who will be the two nominees. No. It's Mulder plus 15, but at this point, anything can flip. Shelby's on the line, and Williamson's still on the line. It's for both. But no clue what's going on here in District 5 of Tennessee. District 4, we got. It's basically down to a two-way race here in District 4. Neil's number seems to have gone down a little bit, I think. Went up there, but not by anything significant. I have a feeling it's between Broderick and Cortese at this point. I don't see Neil coming anywhere close. There's a chance she even slips down into fourth. Is she pulling? Yeah. There are counties like Cannon where I can't remember where Cannon is. Yeah, she's 3 votes away from being in last place. Oh. District 6. Okay. I think we're starting to get some clarity in the Republican primary here in District 6. I think Johnny Garrett wins. You can zoom in on the numbers to see. Oh, great. 43 to 31. So that's 12 points. He's up by 12 points. It's his race. So is there any comments regarding 6? No. All right, I'm switching over to District 9. This is Steve Cohen's seat. This is basically Justin Pearson's seat. This is basically the Republicans. Wait, let me double check. Yes, he is District 9. I just wanted to make sure. This is his seat. This is Justin Pearson's seat. In all but name. More results coming in. The governor race. Blackburn is beginning to get ahead. 28,000 votes now separate them, and most of Rose's area. Well, what are the 50? Most of his area has been called, and I think he may be hitting that cap. Outside chance he does something in Davidson, For Williamson, yes. But if you're Rose, you're looking at this number and you're disappointed. Again, basically still a three-way race. In District 8, there's nothing to change here. Here, Fleischmann will likely win re-election in November. Galladay is... I don't know why I always zoom in. Galladay's up by 59 points. By 11,000 votes. There's 24,000 votes remaining, estimated. There's no clear way for Martin to win this. I don't know why it's not called. Again, we keep the tabs open until they are officially... And there it is. There it is. Anna Galladay will go up against Chuck Fleischmann in the primary in November. There we go. I said it for a while. We were basically knew this for whole time. As I say, I will wait to make it official. But we knew how things looked. Anna Galladay, Chuck Fleischmann. This should be a cakewalk for Fleischmann. I'm not saying anything Gary's guaranteed anymore, but it's basically guaranteed that it's Fleischmann. All right. Well, that's our first call of the night. We're almost an hour in. I don't see significant movement here on the Democratic side. Let me go to the county map, though. Wait, how is Miller Watkins? How much is she winning this by? I kind of want to see because I want to know how. Okay, she could be a player in here. I don't think she'll get the nomination. I think it's Bradshaw's nomination. But Miller Watkins, if she keeps this up, could be a player in the Democratic primary here if she can extend that support into Shelby County. Which, who knows? House District 7. One of the next ones that I'm expecting. It was going into this, I knew that it was going to be basically three ways. Depending on how things were going to go. Oops. Sorry. There's still no sense of clarity here in District 5, although if I'm Ogles and now down 4 points, I get worried. With only 50,000 votes left, I start getting worried. If I'm Hurley and I'm now down 23 points from first place and you still need to overtake 2 in order to be bumped back up into first, you're really disappointed. It's clear here what's going on, that Mulder is likely to win. But what's going on there? Oh, yeah. I forgot this was the district where you had basically 5 candidates, all of whom had somewhat of a shot at this. Giacometti was clearly in last place in all the polling that I saw, but I don't think anyone was expecting Mulder to hit 40. I wasn't expecting him to hit 30. Pretty much the same situation here in District 4. Broderick, I wasn't expecting to do as well as she is here, but it was her. It was anyone's race, but she was favored. Is how I'll put it. What's going on here in District 6? Nothing has changed in District 6 at all. Okay. Whatever. We can be patient. Okay. District 9. Taylor added to his lead. So did Pearson. Wouldn't expect the Republican primary to be called very soon, but within the next half hour, probably. This one expected to be called fairly soon. Like the moment Shelby County reports. This is one of the ones that I really wanted to see. Blackburn's lead has shrunk to 10 percentage points, but the amount of vote that Rose needs to make up is starting to look harder and harder if he wants to have any path to the nomination, which isn't even a guaranteed seat. It's very likely that Rose would win if he's the nominee, but it's not a guarantee. Neither is it with Blackburn. This is still a 3-way race. I mean, the 8-point differential between the first place and third place is more than it was earlier, but it's a 3-way race, basically. Brian could come out of nowhere and still whoop. Only 500 votes separate Brian from Perkins. He'd also need to overtake Heidi Kuhn. Okay, Bradshaw's hit 50%. $55. 33,000 vote differential, about 30 point, 25%, 26% in. Haggerty's still like 100. Bet you by the end of the night that Haggerty ends up with at least 98.5% in every county, just because there's no major write-in. Miller Watkins' influence is spreading, and it is growing. Question is, will it spread into Shelby and Tipton? I don't think it'd be enough to push her over the top, but it could be enough to make her more of a player than just a 9.4%. District 7. Again, Copeland, I have a feeling it'll be called. This is another one that just once Davidson's first batch comes in, which Their website is still saying that they are going to do, yes, very shortly. Then Darden Copeland can expect some to be declared the winner. For Ogles. Remember, I said earlier in the stream that I figured Ogles would be able to win by some. I knew it was going to getting tighter and tighter and tighter. But the idea that he's going to be down by 4 percentage points, 4.2 at this point, was pretty unrealistic. Going into tonight. Again, Williamson, Shelby need to report. Shelby, I'm expecting Hatcher to do even better. Although he's underperforming in his this Cross of the Woods so far. And Ogles, where he needs to be doing well, he's not. So neither candidate is doing as good as they should in their main area. So it's really up in the air. For the Democrats, at this point, Mulder is ahead significantly. It's still too early to call, of course, but he's numbers are going to be getting. He's probably a happy man right now. This one, again, apologize, this is getting repetitive, but we aren't getting anything real new or big yet. Hopefully I jinxed it, and then all of a sudden we get this Batchy Davidson. At this point, Garrett is gaining up on Hillary, and Crowley is gaining up on Bergman. For now, of course. There is still Morgan County. I don't know. Zoom in will put us any cities on the map. Or is this just all rural? This looks like it's just all rural. Oh. Another one where we were waiting for Davidson. Splendid. So, no. Okay. Yeah, again, Pearson being the projected winner. I expect that fairly soon. Big population centers aren't reporting votes yet. So both Nashville and Memphis have no results. So we'll see if the city factor plays into it at all. Well, Atwater's now leading an county. Oh, wow, she is leading an county by something. Something significant, but not enough in the general. We're gonna get anything new out of 8. Or do we need to wait for Tipton and Shelby? What is how much out of Carroll do we have, or Madison do we have? 67. Much out of Carroll, 42. How much out of Perry? 50. And how much out of Haywood? 54. There's more vote in District 8 that is outside of Shelby County and was this Tipton County. There's more vote there. So now we're just going to be patient and wait for it to report. Okay. We're just, saw Miller Watkins go up, and I'm like, did we finally get some Shelby? No, we did not. Too early to call, but I have a feeling Bradshaw wins. They call it soon. Okay. Yep. And there, did the gap closes slightly between the two of them, the two and the Republicans. Where are things standing in Montgomery now? Okay, it's still really close there. Still close here. It seems to be, for the most part, close everywhere, although Hatcher did just get a nice batch of vote from him. Think that, yeah, that's Williamson. That batch feels like it was from Williamson. If you're Ogles, you're just devastated that this is where he needed, and I was thinking he was going to end up hitting 55, maybe even on a good day 60. He's at 46. What's the map look like here? Okay. Are we going to get another batch of votes in here? I really, really, really would like to. Come on, I don't want to leave you right now. Not after that we just got a big batch, or is that big batch the big batch for now? And we need to wait. Because I could honestly see it going either way. Okay. We'll come back to it. I gave it some time. Of course, that means, of course, it's going to go and do something while I'm not paying attention to that one. Broderick takes a teeny hit here, although I don't see it being enough to push Cortese over the edge, and definitely not for Neil Laney or Huffman. So, why do I always zoom in when I do that? 1,800 vote 1900, about that difference. The two candidates. This, again, I'm starting to say Garrett can expect it to be called for him very shortly. This one I'm surprised they haven't called yet. You're gonna do it for me like you guys did in District 3 or earlier? Do it in 3, 2, 1. No, they're not. All right. Well, is Pearson still leading every count? Yep. We're just waiting for Shelby. Ooh. We could actually have something in the governor's race. If we got Williamson, we can have some sort of idea in the governor's race. That's an 11-point difference with 400,000 votes left. I have a feeling Blackburn's got this, even though Rose did just clip into her lead slightly. It's more than half the vote in by now statewide. For the Republicans, Democrats are still at 32, but we all knew who was going to be the nominee going into tonight. I think I did. There's really no way anyone but Green was going to win this. Still saying that there's Davidson tonight. There's nothing. There's literally nothing that's changed here. Here, Bradshaw's just putting more and more onto her lead. Right now, the question is, does she hit 50%? Not even does she get nominated. It's will she hit 50%? If you're the Democrats, you don't. Whoa. Okay. What did we just get? What did we just go? Oh. We got Davidson. We have Davidson vote for the Democrats. Finally. I've said it all night that they're doing it. It does soon, finally. But if as I was saying, if you're the Democrats, you want to see something big. You want to get all these candidates behind Bradshaw. You might have an answer. What happened there? Okay, nothing crazy. This I want to see. Is there any update? We're 55% in. Ogles is not going to be happy with how he's performing if I'm him. But anything from Davidson for the Dems? No, they did not. But for that Senate, key thing here, we got Sumner County, which just squeaks into this district. And we just got it for the governorship. We just got our first Davidson for the governorship, or for the Republicans. We are getting a clearer picture of tonight. Blackburn still leads by quite a bit over John Rose, Marsha Blackburn, incumbent U.S. Senator. We already had U.S. Senator Michael Bennet lose a bid for the governorship this year. But it appears that Marsha Blackburn will be out of the Senate and into the governorship, because I see a way, but it's a very slim way, for Jerry Green to pull this off in the general. Got to see how in the general election for the state of Tennessee. I'll keep an eye on this afterwards. But if you're here for the Senate, you got your answer here. 1 second. Oops. Sorry, I narrowed the screen there. If Davidson Democrat for this, no. No, we do not. Anything here? Yeah, if I'm Ogles, I start getting really nervous. This is not looking good for him. Another small blow there to Ogle's campaign. We're getting close to 60% of the vote in. Anything? Anything? Like a projection for Mulder? One sec. There's nothing from Shelby County that I have seen on their website. I'm gonna go check their. Also checking their social media. Oh, Broderick just took a bit of a hit. I still think she wins. Anything here in District 6? Took a hit. Yeah, it's looking more and more like Fritz is taking it evenly from both candidates. So that's going to hurt John Rose than it is more than it is Marsha Blackburn. Tipton County, we got stumped. Here, the difference is just 13 votes for the Democratic primary. 13 votes for who will be the Democratic nominee and will likely get blown out in the general election. Oh, wow. Stuff's moving. Stuff is moving. Copeland leads in all the counties, but he did take a hit there. I have a feeling this is going to be called for Mulder once Shelby, and it may also be called for Hatcher once Shelby reports. Let's see. Bruce. Like Benton needs to do better than winning by a vote. Ogles isn't reaching his full, or Hatcher isn't reaching his full potential out here. Don't get me wrong, but he is overperforming where he wasn't expected to overperform. Okay, nothing major here. Wait. Do we have their vote? Curtis in the lead with Broderick actually coming in third. I mean, Broderick was expected to. Broderick and Curtis were the nominees. Expected to be. Okay, yep. It was enough. Johnny Garrett in District 6 for the Republicans. For the Democrats, it is yet to be called. We will keep this tab open to focus on them. But Garrett defeating Van Hillary and John Henry. Again, it was just that bit Nashville that needed to be called in order to make a projection. Do we get something here? Oh! Okay. That is not the one that I thought was going to be called first here. That is interesting. Brent Taylor, the Republican nominee, and he's going to get smacked in the general election. Tennessee doesn't really have any swing districts. I was expecting more likely that Pearson would be projected the winner soon. And I'm still thinking that they're going to call it within the next 5 minutes. Yep, There it is. Justin Pearson, the projected winner for the Democrats in District 9. I've been saying this for a long time. It was time to call it. So, and yep, we're getting Shelby County now. Do we have a call for Blackburn in the governor's race? Yes, we do. Marsha Blackburn, U.S. Senator, is going to be the Republican nominee for governor of Tennessee. Representative John Rose is headed home. Will he go back into Congress 2 years? I could see that. Could also see him just being done. The governor for Tennessee will be between Marsha Blackburn and Jerry Green. Anything in District 9 or District 8? No. Here. No. Here in District 5. Night's starting to come to a close. It's looking like it's going to be over for Ogles, and I now is when I start talking about Mulder being called the winner. Hatcher maybe also very soon, depending on how things look. This has turned really interesting. I think we need. I don't know how long they're going to try and play around with this one. How much do we have to jump? Oh. 70%. I think we're going to need to get that one up, and I think we're going to need to really get a lot of more Rutherford vote before we can even any idea on who's going to win for this one. I think Neil is probably out of it, though, by now. Nothing. I didn't realize that Cheney Mosley was going to be more, because there is a scenario where Laurie Bergman finishes in third, but there's also a scenario where Mike Crowley finishes in third. In this, so it's a 9-point difference, but I don't think it's that ridiculous to see the idea of Crowley finishing in third. It's unlikely. I think it's very unlikely. I'm just saying it's wouldn't be ridiculous if it happened, Brent. Okay. Heidi Khan will likely be the nominee here. This is swing by 30. Are you going to call it now? I have a feeling it's going to be called very shortly. The next batch, probably, if not officially calling it right here, right now. We are currently 96 minutes past poll closing. Yep, there it is. That big batch was all she needed. Gustav will likely win in the general. No call here. Nothing. No. Okay, yes, stay there. I'm starting to think they're also going to call this one for Copeland fairly shortly. Hi, Chipster. Welcome. Okay. And I also have a feeling they're going to call it for Mulder. They may wait a bit for District 5 to get some more answers from how much is Shelby's in. 31, they're going to need more. Yeah, they're going to need more. But the night's getting, it's going. It's been going for a while now. This will likely be the next one, I would say. 20,000 votes, managing to win by at least 4,000. Not just winning 4,000. You need to win by a margin 4,000, which seems like a tall task for Vincent Dixie at this point. Here you got Broderick. Again, the numbers just aren't quite there for Cortese. I don't see right now, unless he manages to overperform. He probably needs to do a lot better here in Rutherford, and definitely get more than. They probably has to hit 40 in Davidson if he wants to win. I would say that's the only path is getting that number up to 40. Honestly, at this point, Oglev beating Hatcher is starting to look more and more like a tall task. Again, I didn't see any scenario where Hatcher won. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I should say that it was very unlikely he would win. But no, Ogles could be headed home. I don't know what he'd do. Would he go run for office again? I don't know. Yeah, 19,000 votes. You need to win by 4,000. It's more and more and more unlikely with each passing minute for Dixie, and especially it's pretty much over for Holloway. Here in District 4, Broderick, Cortese definitely getting their advantage over Joyce Neal. Still pretty much unknown whether or not having Lehner and Huffman there is going to play any sort of factor in this. There's still no clarity here in District 6. Just gonna reorganize the tabs. Oh, yep. Darden Copeland, the projected winner. Told you it'd be the next one. We've got 4, 5, and 6. Yeah. Nothing. District 4, you got again Election comes down to Rutherford County. The rest of Davidson. Okay, I'm expecting this projection here pretty quick, given that how much Broderick added to her margin right there. Probably within the next batch or two, we'll have the official call. Anything from 5 or 6? No, but for both of them, the remaining votes are going down, and they're going down fast. The number of outstanding votes. But here, right now, is where I think we're going to start getting some clarity. Like actual clarity, nothing like, oh, one person is slightly ahead. No, this is starting to become pretty clear. Neil's out of it, basically, at this point. Yep, Victoria Broderick wins the primary. 14,000 votes left. I didn't see a way for Cortese to pull it off later. DeGeneres will likely win the general, I would say. Still need both in District 5 to be called. As well as the Democratic primary in District 6, where the numbers are starting to go down, and Crowley is increasing his lead. Again, we're doing this again on Saturday at 11 Eastern. So 11 or 12 for Hawaii. I have a feeling the Democratic primary here is going to be the next one called in District 5. Always, of course, checking on our friends here in District 6. This is John Rose's old seat. Rose, who came in second for the governor's race today. Five and 6 left. Each race, roughly 21,000 votes remaining. Is that enough to put Mulder into the projected winner category? I thought that was going to swing in. Let's see where what counties still have more to vote. Still need a little more Dyer, some more Henry, more Hickman, who definitely some more Humphreys. Bit more Lewis, bit more Murray, Montgomery. Obion a bit, Shelby we need. Definitely. We need vote from Shelby. Stewart, some. Tipton we need votes from. And Williamson we need some votes from. What we're missing, though, is likely to be we're missing stuff from both. I'd give the edge on the missing vote to Mulder, but what remains still from Cooper Sutton. Wouldn't surprise me. Okay. Mulder's number takes a slight hit, but again, the number of votes left in the county is also going down. Same with your Ogles. The number is going down. Mind you, Devontae Hill's actually leading in the county, and he's only at 9%. So what I meant by this could be a five-way race. It didn't end up being a five-way race, but I said it could be a five-way race. But I'm kind of glad it didn't end up being five-way race, because those are going to be those are always tough to tell what's going on. How is our little friend Lebowitz doing in Finley? Lebowitz is actually doing more than you would think. This is more like a five-way race than District 5. 23-point differential. 20,000. Oh, yeah, this Finley got most of the remaining vote. He could technically win. It's never going to happen. It's not. But if you're him, you like to dream. Anything? I don't think these districts have any of the same. What counties are these? Davidson, Wilson. Yeah. Now's the boring part where we just have to wait. No idea how long the wait is going to be. Ooh. We do you have anything in District 6 that we can talk about right now? We got a Republican batch. We got a batch of Republican votes from District 6. That's not the party. This primary is still up for grabs right now. Yep. Mike Crowley in District 6. That last batch was all we needed. The projected winner. Bergman, Mosley, Lebowitz, and Finley. All losing. Crowley started to add bits and pieces. And ended up all right. District 5. Neither party's primary has been called. With 18,000 votes roughly on each side, it's starting to look like it's going to be tougher for Ogles and Cooper Sutton. I'd say though that The election will be called at roughly the same time between them for both Republicans and the Democrats in District 5. Okay. Come on. Just get some vote. Please. Come on. We're waiting. We are all waiting to see the results. Is Andy Ogles being sent home by a member of his own party? Well, the Republicans managed to keep this seat in November. Who will be vying for it on the Democratic side? Those answers we need. We're going to get a projection. Okay. I will be back in about 5 minutes. I'm going to leave the screen on for Tennessee 5. Maybe we'll get something by the time I'm back. I just need to go grab a bite to eat. I told everyone I am pausing for 5 minutes because I have nothing to talk about. That's my Does that need to be done today? Okay. Depends how long this lasts. Hold up. Hold up. I am back. Apologize for that. I had to just go get something to eat and to check on anything from any counties that we were missing. And we have a call. In Tennessee's 5th congressional district for the Republican primary, Andy Ogles is headed home. Charlie Hatcher is the presumptive projected winner. Is another incumbent representative going down this cycle. Wow. I was shocked. I was not expecting that. What do they have to say about it? Trump endorsed state. What's next for him? I don't know. I'm kind of shocked. Regardless of your political views, I don't think anyone really was expecting Hatcher to win. All right, Andy Ogles is headed home. Charlie Hatcher wins. Wow. I didn't see this. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Genuinely. Charlie Hatcher, the projected winner. Wow. Okay, Democrats. What? We one race left for tonight. I'm shocked. I I did not see that coming at all. I'm This really feels out of nowhere. Like really out of nowhere. I mean, I said polls were getting close, but never did I ever actually think that this was going to happen. Wow. That is just a shock. I know I can't stop yapping about this. This one, of all the incumbents to lose, was the biggest surprise. Wow. Excuse me. Wow. Wow. Anything more for the Democrats? This is just a shock. All right, come on. the Dems need to report something. Ogles had been making controversial statements, and was one of the people pushing for Trump to be eligible to run for a third term. That decreased his popularity in his own district. I didn't think it was going to be enough. Appears it is. Wow. Actually, doing. Wow. All right, we got another batch of votes, and 12 again. Cooper Sutton needs to win by 4,000. I think it's going to be called very soon. They're gonna probably call it after the next batch, I would say. Chess Mulder's just won, so that's it. This was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, but thank you all for watching. And if you enjoyed, we will be doing this again, Hawaii. Hopefully, there'll be more to talk about towards the end. Thank you, guys.